So we have the Marvels, ladies and gentlemen. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. It's the story that just won't go away. And that's because the funny thing is the Marvels and what's going on with the Marvels is being co-opted by so many sides that it seems like the story is just never going to leave. Now, we have an article here from CBR, which is obviously a show media website. And it says the Marvel star says box office numbers are less important than awful wet blanket culture. Yes, IMAN VELLANI, the person who plays Miss Marvel, who apparently, according to CBR, by the way, I don't know if you knew, I put this in my last video, but according to CBR, IMAN VELLANI is the breakout star of the MCU. She's the most watched, most loved character within the MCU right now. Yes, according to CBR, that's the truth, and you guys can figure it out from there. But apparently, IMAN VELLANI has revealed that her opinion of the low box office numbers for the Marvels, and also got support of the horror author Stephen King along the way. Now, I also made a video on Stephen King, essentially roasting him for his stupid takes regarding the Marvels, where he openly admits that he doesn't watch this kind of content. He's not invested in it. He's not mentally invested in it. And yet, he is out there trying to tell everybody to relax. Anybody who is invested in it, he's trying to tell them to essentially relax on the hate because that's not warranted. So anyway, guys, let's get into the article from CBR.com. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. It says IMAN VELLANI has revealed her attitude towards the Marvel's box office woes, as well as getting the support of renowned author Stephen King. Last week, King called out those celebrating the Marvel's box office struggles, posting via X, "I don't go to MCU movies. I don't care for them, but I find this barely masked gloating over the low box office for the Marvels very unpleasant. Why gloat over failure?" In a new interview with Yahoo, VELLANI referenced the importance of King's support, but said that ultimately the box office is out of sight, out of mind. Now, when it comes to this, okay, the fact that Stephen King is out here questioning why everybody else is rooting for the failure of a movie that he doesn't admittingly understand as to why, it's just ridiculous, right? Like, you just openly admitted that you don't watch MCU movies. You openly admitted that you probably never even partaked in the MCU. So if you never had investment in it, why are you then questioning other people who did have investment in it? It is very odd to me, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense for you to question things that you have no knowledge about. What Stephen King doesn't understand is that people were heavily invested in the MCU. People loved the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and unfortunately at the beginning of Phase 4 all the way to now in Phase 5, they have completely co-opted the MCU to be this identity politics ridden nonsense that is simply there just to push a message. That's it. That's all it exists for. Nothing else, nothing more. And then when you try to say, well, this is not what I grew up liking, or this is not the MCU, this is the MCU, they call you an amazing amount of words that have zero meaning anymore because they use them all the time. Now, somebody like Stephen King does understand this, but he's trying to play as if he doesn't, simply because that would go against his identity politics if he admitted it. So it says, "I don't want to focus on something that's not even in my control because what's the point?" VELLANI said. "That's for Bob Iger. The box office has nothing to do with me. I'm happy with the finished product, and the people that I care about enjoy the film. It's genuinely a good time watching the movie, and that's all we can ask for in these films. It has superheroes, it takes place in space, it's not that deep, and it's about teamwork and sisterhood. It's a fun movie, and I'm just happy that I could share it with people." Now, I do agree to an extent. She obviously has no control over what's going to happen with the film. She has a little bit of control, but not really that much, okay? The biggest thing with her is that if she went out there and started attacking fans, for example, right? If she started doing interviews attacking people, then yeah, you do have some sort of power with regards to what happens with the film. But ultimately, she doesn't really have a lot of power. But that doesn't mean you can't root for the success of the film. Like, the weird thing is that previous actors, right? Actors in the old days, they used to rely on the success of these films because by the films being successful, they then have more negotiating power to either get more roles or more money per role that they take. The weird thing is that the modern day actor doesn't think that way. They're not thinking about their filmography. They're thinking about the fact that, oh, I got to play Miss Marvel and that's all that matters. I liked it, so who cares if nobody else likes it? They don't actually take pride in what they're doing, and that's the difference between a modern day actor and actors of yesterday. So that's why a lot of these modern actors, they don't have very strong filmographies anymore. They don't have anything that really they could stand on. Very few modern actors could even come anywhere close to actors of yesterday. And it's really sad because the real actors are dying off, and now you're left with these, I don't know, empty husks. Like, I really don't know what to call them at the end of the day. It says some of the activity took Vellani back to her high school days. Oh, here we go with the victim shit. When people would shoot her down for things that she got excited about. I would hate to see that within the fan community as well, she said, because it does feel awful. If people are excited about something, let them be excited about it. And if you have constructive criticism, voice it, but never be the wet blanket on someone else's excitement. Well, isn't that a little weird though? Like, I find this a little strange, this comment, because you are perfectly fine with telling people who voice their concerns over the film that they're racist or sexist, they're this and that. All of you guys are perfectly fine for that, but God forbid anybody wants to make a rain on your parade, and now you're coming out and saying, oh, don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that rains on someone else's parade. Why not? Why not? Your movies are terrible. What you're doing with them is terrible. And the only reason why people are raining on your parade is because you're asking them to, okay? A lot of people don't care about the normies who enjoy the film. The only ones who are being rained on are the actors who are attacking the fans left and right. If you watch the Marvels and you enjoy the Marvels, then more power to you. I'm glad you found something you enjoyed. But that's few and far between, number one. And those people are not attacking us, number two. The ones who are attacking us are the ones who the parades we're raining on. That's really what we're doing. So when Stephen King says, oh, it's weird for people to want to root for someone's failure. No, it's not. It's not at all. I'm rooting for the failure of people who are driven by identity politics. I'm rooting for the failure of people who take criticism and try to twist it into something that's racist, sexist, misogynist, whatever word you want to use. I'm rooting for the failure of those people. And this movie is the culmination of people like that. This movie represents exactly what we've been talking about for the last 5 some odd years in the MCU. This is exactly what we've been talking about. So for you to come out and try to say, oh, you're raining on my parade, that's a little bit ridiculous. You know, people can enjoy what they want, but obviously people are not allowed to hate what they want. No, that's too far. That's too far. You can't hate what you want. You can only like what you want. As long as what you like is me, then that's fine. You know, it's that kind of mindset, right? Rules for thee and not for me. It says, now age 21, Vellani's quick rise to fame is owed not just her excitability, but also her depth of knowledge of Marvel Comics. Now, here's a typical CBR move where they're going to try to convince you that the actor is somehow a super fan of the comics, right? This is what CBR likes to do whenever they talk about women actors in the MCU. They want to convince you so bad that these people are fans of the source material. They absolutely love the source material. Believe us, guys, they do. They're totally not just hired shills to do what they're supposed to do. No, they're fans. That's what they want to convince you is the truth, and that's furthest from the truth. There's no way you're going to convince me that these 3 women are fans of the original source material, the comics, or whatever the case may be. Show me their comic book collection. That's what I want to see. I want to see a halfway decent comic book collection. Nothing crazy. Just show me a little bit of comics. Don't just show me modern day. Show me some comics, but you're never going to be able to. You're just never going to be able to. It's quite clear that they're just making it all up to make them seem like to be super fans. It says in 2022, Vellani revealed the clashing heads on numerous occasions with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige over Doctor Strange's continuities before the reveal earlier this year that she was trusted with all things related to the Marvels. Her insight with how she landed the role previously and in an exclusive interview with CBR, she teased big things to come regarding her character's future. Now, I did do a video prior of CBR's article talking about what was coming in the future and how the Marvels is essentially the future of the MCU, and nobody's excited about it whatsoever. Nobody was happy to hear about that. But now here's the funny thing. So do you guys really think that she had arguments with Kevin Feige over Doctor Strange's continuities? Do you think that she really did that? No. This woman is just happy to be where she's at, that I guarantee you she's doing literally anything that Kevin Feige tells her to do, and I don't blame her. You're getting paid to do a role. You're getting paid to do a job. So I can understand if she did that. But you're not going to convince me that she's just some kind of super fan and then tell me, oh yeah, she went all the way to Kevin Feige and started fighting him over Doctor Strange continuities. Yeah, she's that level of a fan. I highly, highly doubt that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.